I never knew I could do that. Oh. Oh. Hi. Good morning, good evening, good midnight, good night, night. Well, sorry for those who are waiting for me. I'm so sorry for being late. I'm so sorry. Sorry. I was in OBS studio mode and I thought whatever this toggle is, I thought this is like switching over. Well, no, I thought this is like speed, how fast I switch over. And it turns out it's I don't know why it's so funny to me. Oh, I had such a bummer day. Really, I had such a well. It's not really a bummer. Just more so things didn't go very smooth. Well, not exactly. Well, it's a complicated day. It's a complicated day. Anyways, I'm here. I'm now. Good morning, good evening, good midnight. I am Jaenix Lively, your favorite host of your one and only favorite live show, Jaenix Lively live show. Hi. Good morning. Well, today we're gonna be playing nothing, or today we're gonna be doing a test. Or you're gonna be watching me do a test. Sorry. Sorry. I said, okay. Like I said, today we're gonna be doing an MBTI test, or a 16 personality test, because apparently this isn't the official Myers-Briggs test, which is the full name of, I believe, the full name of MBTI, which is Myers-Briggs Test Intellect. I don't know what the I is for, but basically this is a very common version that people use to test their MBTI, or kind of dip their toe in the MBTI pool, like I did, and like a lot of streamer did, because, well, when I thought about doing this. Oh wait, hold on. Let me play some music. Can you hear it? Hi, RG. Hi. Good morning. Let me know if it's too loud, and let me know if it's hurting your ear. Basically, okay, a short introduction to the MBTI test. Okay. Let me see. It's I didn't think about how I can describe what MBTI test is to people who doesn't already know what the MBTI test is. Oh shit. Well, okay, basically this is a test that is a personality test. It's not those type of personality tests you see on BuzzFeed, where it's like, pick these colors of food you like to eat and see if you're a good lover. It's not like that. It's more so, some will compare it to astrology, which, they're both tools to help people understand themselves better, sure. But I would say that I personally feel like this is much more... Okay, I'll say this. As a person who has benefited majorly from the MBTI test, or at least my MBTI result, it's very different, okay? It's very different in the sense, like, first off, it's not decided because you're born some day, some month, some time, because your mother kind of like held in you a little bit longer, a little bit shorter, and how long you came out of the whole process. It's not random and it doesn't decide anything, right? Whatever result you get from this test, it doesn't decide anything. It's more so like a test, like a genuine, like a test. You know how what test is supposed to be, which is like to see what state of understanding or what state you currently at. It's to measure how you are right now, you know. It's to measure what your personality is kind of like right now. And it's also a spectrum. There's 4 spectrums or 5 spectrums that you'll see later on. And so it's not a definitive, because you're born this day, therefore you're gonna be like this when you're 20, and then you'll face hardship in your 30s and become like that in your 40s. It's not like that. Sure, your personality can change when you're 20, when you're 30, but this doesn't tell you that, right? This doesn't tell you your future, your past, your how you do things, and what hardship you'll face, and what future holds in front of you. Like, it's not like that. They're both tools that people would say are helpful to understand themselves, which I get. I totally get. As a person who used to be very skeptical of, no way, no way you can validate like a myth, you know, like a story, because it helps you understand yourself. Well, maybe it helps you understand yourself, but it doesn't make it any more valid, you know. Like, sure, maybe like 4 in 1 chance it nails your personality in the head, right? But it doesn't make it valid or makes it true, you know. Like, it still just happens to be that you get it, you fit the description and whatnot. And so, well, it's I'm trying not to say that I don't believe in astrology, but basically I don't really, because in comparison sorry, but after I took the 16 personality test and I got my result, and it really truly helped me. Like, I could not describe how much it helped me from the base of my heart. Because, okay, a bit of a spoiler, because it's not today's theme, because I'm not doing this in my own time and truly like keeping all the thoughts and process to myself, like how you're supposed to take this test. I'm taking this in front of a screen, even though there's not much people in my chat right now, but I'm still treating it like I'm doing it in the front of a crowd of people. So it's not the most exact my personality test. It's just a personality test to see if I'm different, you know? To see what state of mind I am in when I'm on screen, right? But spoiler. Spoiler. Jump ahead for like 5 to 10 minutes if you don't want to if you don't be spoiled, because I doubt that my personality will change much even if I'm taking this test on screen. But okay, here you go. In my own time, I've taken this test and I gotten the debater, this one, and it's not much, right? Okay, first off, there's 16 personalities, just like the name suggested. There's 16 personalities, and how are they different? Well, there are 4 indicators and a 5 extra one. I don't know what this does, but it doesn't change. It's not it doesn't decide your personality. The 4 things decides what personality you are. And the more you are, like, for instance, the first one, extrovert or introvert. The more introvert, if you're like 50% introvert and 51% introvert and 49% extrovert, then you are in the introvert category. If you are like 70% extrovert and like 30% introvert, then you're categorized as E, which is like in the extrovert category. And you do this 4 times, or the test does this 4 times and decides what personality type you are. And I was given this, the debater, which is, it doesn't sound much, but the more I read about this, the description, how they work, what type of logic they run on, and how they treat things and how they interact with people, I'll say this. Throughout my life, I've always had this little worry that I am a sociopath. Okay? Yeah. So throughout my life, I always have some reason to feel like there's a possibility that I might be a sociopath. And I mean, I still don't know whether I am one or not because I haven't gotten tested yet. But because the way I interact with people, I would love to push their buttons and see how they will react when I push their buttons. And I feel joy from this action. It's hard not to think there's something odd about me, you know? Like, you know how people say that be a good person, treat other people the way you want to be treated, such and such. And then you get a bit of joy when you see how other people react in the extremer situations that you put them in. It's not a far-fetched idea to think that maybe there's something interesting about you that maybe you want to check out, you know? That's how that's a concern that I've had for the majority of my life up until I did this test and I got the debater type. And reading the description, it still doesn't make it so that it doesn't say, no, you're not a sociopath. It doesn't say that. However, the way it described it makes more sense for me because, well, I won't delve too deep into it because I feel like I'll have a chance to delve deeper into it later. But basically, it's a personality. The way I interact with people, it's just how I enjoy things. It's just how I understand the world. It's not because I derive joy from other people's suffering, which is one reason that I don't believe that I am a sociopath or I have any mental problems, because I don't like those try not to laugh fails, you know? I don't like to see other people suffer, per se. I like to see how people react to things. I like to see how they, what their baselines are. I like to see what triggers them. But I don't like to see them suffer, in any sense. Truly, you know? So I don't like to do things that'll leave any long-term suffering or hardships, unless I hate them, but that rarely happens. So like, this test, getting a full description that is so on point with my characteristics helps me understand that I am, even though throughout my life I've been wanting to be a special person, I want to be the one, the odd one out, the special person, the one that's on stage, the one that everybody looks at, but still, there's still some part of me that wants to be normal, per se. And this test straight up tells me that there are a large group of people on Earth, a percentage of people on Earth, that does the same exact thing you do and are the same exact type you are. And like, maybe not exactly the same, but you're just a type of personality instead of you have a problem that needs to be solved, or else you'll be a bad person. You know, that was a major, like, mental, like, a major mind palace shift for me. To be like, oh, I'm just a quirky, instead of, oh, maybe I am a bad person. It's so different. I think it's very, I think that sums it up, you know? It's the realization that I'm just quirky. It's so weird to say that I'm quirky, because I know it's associated with like self-centeredness, but I mean, if you have to choose between believing yourself as a genuine terrible person and being a quirky person. I mean, choose one, you know? So, hi 刘星我今天要做一个 MBTI 的测试，我基本上会用英文去做，然后那个整个测试我也会用英文去做，不过 welcome welcome. Well, basically, so that's the introduction. That's the introduction of why I believe in the MBTI test and its validness more so than the astrology or those type of tests. Okay, well, let's start. Throughout this process, I feel like I'm gonna be debating through this. I feel like I'm gonna try to be like, I'm right, you're wrong, so shut up. Throughout this entire process, so bear with me. Disagree with me all you want, but I am right, and you know it. Mwahaha. I regularly make new friends. I regularly make new friends. Well, that's a such. Well, regularly make new friends? Do I not? I feel like if I have to choose one side, it's gonna be agree, because I do reach out to people. I do join, events, or I do join in the backstage prep of events. I like to join events that might make me have some new connection with new people in general. I try my best to do those types of stuff because it makes me feel good to bond new connections whenever, however. Have fun testing your English level, Liu Xing. Well, so if I have to choose one, I guess it's gonna be agree. And how much do I regularly make new friends? I don't actually have a regular schedule of making new friends. I don't actively make a lot of new friends and keep those friends, or at least I'm not good at keeping them. But I do regularly make new friends. You spend a lot of your free time exploring various random topics that pique your interest. I'm gonna say yes. Because, well, what I'm doing now, and what I plan to do with my YouTube channel is, if I have to sum it up, this is exactly it. Spending a lot of my free time exploring various random topics that pique my interest, whether it's VTubing, V-roiding, singing, mixing, or playing all types of games that I haven't played before. So, very random, very, very, very wide vary. It varies what piques my interest. Anyways, seeing other people cry can easily make you feel like you want to cry too. Now, we've entered our first crossroad. I don't know about you. Personally, me, I don't know how to describe this. Another reason that I wondered whether or not I'm sociopathic. I don't feel bad for other people immediately, or at least I learned to feel bad for other people. Awkward smile. Well, first off, seeing other people cry can easily make me feel like I want to cry too. I can't say I don't agree, because a trait that I've had since I was little, whenever I see a person, a character cry, whether it's on screen or in storybooks or in novels, whatever situation, if a person is sad, I feel sad. And if a person cries, it's like, click, cry, It's like, oh, the character lost its grandma. And thinking about all the times they have left together. JJ dropped a little drop of tear. And Jay and Jaenix in real life at the same time will, reading this, also drop a tear drop. And That's not the best way to describe it, but basically, I get easily triggered. Easily triggered when I see a person cry on screen in a story. When I can fully immerse myself into it, fully believe that I am the character, or understand the motive, understand why they're crying, where they're coming from, or simulate what they're feeling fully, that's when I can easily cry. And it's like, that doesn't sound easy, but I mean it in comparison, right? A lot of people can cry when they hear their friends are incredibly sad. I don't really. But a lot of people also don't really cry when they just see a character cry on screen. But I easily do. And so, that's the crossroad here. What does the other people mean here? Does it mean just any other people, any other human or character, or does it mean friends, right? I'll say this. I don't feel like it'll be the right answer for me to click disagree. I don't feel like it's the right answer for me to click agree. But I do had this description of myself where I would easily cry when I see a lot of people cry, even though the people is on screen. I think it still counts. You have to make a backup plan for backup plan. Oh, should I do? Fucking should I do? I am terrible at keeping my time. I'm terrible at doing what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it. I am a terrible schedule keeper, but I always make schedules every single day. I try to think what I'm supposed to do today, what I need to do today, how am I gonna do it, or when I'm gonna do it, how long I'm gonna do it. I schedule my whole day out, sometimes my whole week out, and I still don't really make it. Like 80% of the time, I still can't make it. And I've had this struggle my entire life, mind you. This is not something that I recently learned about myself. No, I've been terrible at keeping time my entire life. And I've been reminded time and time again to do what I'm supposed to do when I'm supposed to do it, go to place, prepare early, and prepare the night before. I try my best to do those, but I always just fail. I don't know why. There's some reason that I'm recently speculating that might be related to an undiagnosed AD something D, but because I know I have this tendency of not keeping track of my time, I, at the same time when I'm planning for anything, have the tendency to plan for a backup plan, which is, yes, I know I'm going to and I'm supposed to wake up at 12, right? But most probably, I'm not gonna. So I'm gonna do something and I'm gonna schedule things just in case I wake up at 1:30. Things like that. And anything else as well. When I'm doing event planning, when I'm the coordinator, I always think, what if? It's one of my most commonly used mindset when thinking stuff. What if somebody see this sentence and think, oh, maybe this refers to that? And what if this means what this? Just what if something is interpreted in a way that we didn't think it's supposed to interpret, but it's able to interpret it this way. So just in case, we're gonna make it as foolproof as I can and as we can, and just keep revising, because just in case this didn't work, at least we have this working. If this doesn't work, at least we have that working. And this is kind of how I do things, is a backup plan for a backup plan. So absolutely yes. Not extremely, because I don't follow it up. I do have those plans, but 50% of the time I don't actually finish it. I don't actually finish the backup plan. I just do have that mindset very strongly. Maybe I should. Nah. I usually stay calm, even under a lot of pressure. I used to say yes, but recently I feel like less calm. It's hard to describe. Okay, recently my father asked me to be a translator between him and a Canadian. Like, he can speak English barely, right? He learned English at a time where English was kinda like a guesswork, you know? You kinda try to sound it out, but as an Asian, living in an Asian country where it's a Asian who doesn't really speak English teaching you English, and you're trying to at the same time learn how to speak English, but also learn the medical terms of every just most technical terms of terms. It's not really fully useful, his English skills. So he asked me to be the translator between him and a Canadian. And so it's fully something that I can do easily. And throughout the process, I can immediately translate. Like, it's something I can do fully, easily. I keep saying easily, but really, it's an easy thing for me to do. However, I was so nervous. I was so nervous that my hands are clenched the entire time. I kept rocking back and forth and left and right, and I couldn't stand still. I couldn't find something to do to keep my nerves down. And I tried just really focusing. I tried thinking something else. I tried looking in the mirror. Eventually, I started chatting with their daughter, and that's a lot of fun. They're cute, but also I'm so nervous. I was so freaking nervous chatting with his daughter. Like, I was like, by the way, mind you, I'm good at communicating with children. However, I was so nervous that the entire time I was like, did I say it right? Am I stumbling? Oh no, I stumbled there. Oh no, my words, they jumble. I'm so nervous. At the same time, what I said was, oh yeah, apple are really good, you know? It's like, oh yeah, guavas, they're so good. I really love guava. Have you guys eaten those guavas with those really sour juice? It's so good. That's what I'm saying. Inside, sour juice. What is sour juice? What is that word? I forgot. It's a berry? No. So it's like, should I call it staying calm? I feel like I'm so nervous. I feel like, still, in general, I'm the type of person that stays relatively calm when a lot of people are panicky. So maybe I need somebody else to be more panicking than I am in order for me to stay calm. When I'm alone, when I'm going on stage alone, I can become a nervous wreck if I really care about the result. If I really care about what I'm doing and I want to get it right, I want to do everything right, then I do become a nervous wreck. But for the most part, I don't have stage fright, right? I don't fear awkwardness. So as long as I don't care about the situation, or I see somebody that's much more nervous than I am, immediately calm the fuck down. So I'll say maybe yes. Yeah, maybe yes. I stay calm in some situation that a lot of people would consider as a very high pressure situation. That's what I'll say. At social events, you really try to introduce yourself to new people and mostly talk to the ones you already know. Well, fucking duh! What do you mean? Do people immediately introduce themselves to new people before talking to people you already knew? Oh, I guess it's saying that you rarely try to introduce yourself. Well, then, I mean, okay, the question is this. At social events, right? What classifies as a social event here than what classifies as the most common social events in the US or in the EU is very different, I feel like. Because here, where I live, there's not much party. Like house party, warming party, maybe just, college party or high school party, or prom, or what else? Just adult party, Halloween party, any party. We don't have. Okay, we don't have those types of party. If we do, it's an event. Maybe some company is holding some type of event to promote stuff. That's when we have quote unquote party. But that's not really a party as well. It's like it's more so a stage with audiences. You don't really call that the type of party like house party, you know? So the social events that we have here, or at least I've attended to, isn't exactly always purposeless, you know? I know a lot of people go to parties in the US and in the EU to chill, to enjoy the moment, enjoy the party, to make friends and such. But these social events that I have been able to attend to, or I know exists, but I haven't been to, there's always a purpose there, you know? Even the ones that the purpose is to make friends, is to have people who are new into the country, new into the school, new to a workplace, to have them make friends with the people that are already there. You know, there's a purpose behind most social events here. So you don't really go to those types of events and just immediately try to talk to new people, right? Because there's a purpose there. There's a purpose of who you should talk to, who you need to talk to, or who you maybe want to talk to, just so you can help the event do what it's supposed to do. So, I mean, so how do you there's a difference there, right? There's a difference there. Like a lot of those parties, a lot of those, well, I shouldn't call those parties, a lot of those social events that I just mentioned, if you go to those types of social events, you're there with a purpose. Rarely that you're there purely to make friends. Sure, you go there and you decided to go there because you want to make friends, but you're also there for another purpose. And sometimes those purposes are to make friends, you know? A lot of times people go to those types of parties. They don't have to, but they're there already to make friends. So it's like if you're at a social event, most likely you are there to make new friends. So you are going to introduce yourself to new people. So that's just me laying out our situation and why I feel like this question, there's some debatable details about it. But yeah, I will talk to new people. I really try. No, I often try to introduce myself to new people. Like I said, I don't fear awkwardness. For the most part. You prefer to completely finish one project before starting another. You know, I would like to completely finish one project before starting another, but I don't, you know? I would like to believe that I have the ability to do that, but I don't, you know? I just... Reason that might be ADHD, but I'm just undiagnosed, check too. Really. Just... Okay. Can I go back? No? Okay. Well, you know... How? Right? There's so many new things popping up. There's always something that you're thinking, or at least I'm thinking. When you're doing something, maybe you're doing like this test, maybe some point I'll think, well, maybe I can do this new project and I can do it as a video or as a stream. Or maybe like when I'm writing homework and I'll think, oh my god, that's a really good lyric that I just thought up in my head. I want to write this down. And it's like, they're fleeting. I feel like is the point. I feel like they're all just so much stuff are fleeting. And I don't want to get stuck on one project. I can't do it. I can finish it. I need to be able to have the flexibility of doing multiple or jumping between those. Or else it'll be like stuck. I feel like the writer's block will come so soon if I'm forced to completely finish one project before starting another. And even if you ask the most productive people out there, right? Think CGP Grey, a person who is known for being a workaholic without actually being a workaholic. She's just really productive and loves to be productive. Even him, he do multiple projects at the same time because that's just how you do it. Because you can't just finish one before starting another. Yes, you can, but like you have to have multiple things going on. That's just he can explain it better than I do, but it's just I feel like how things are supposed to do. Because it's the same thing as feeling stuck, you know, like, okay, I finally finished one project and I feel so tired. I'm not gonna start another. You know, I feel like that will stump a person much more. Or it stumps me much more than just keep doing it. You know, like, maybe right now I can't think of the best way to describe this feeling. I'll put it there for a second, hold on a second, put it on the board, hold on a second, I'll do something else. And then I come back and oh yeah, that's the sentence that I want to use to describe my feelings. You know? I feel like that's natural. I feel like that's how things just kinda just happen. Am I very sentimental? Nah. Nah. I mean, I am, but at the same time, if you ask my friends, if you cut them into pieces, if you ask my friends that I've had heart to heart with, they'll hesitate to say that I am a very sentimental person. I think. I've never asked that. I've never cut them into pieces. But in general, some people need to live by following their heart, and it's harder for me to follow my heart than to follow my brain. And I think that classifies me as a not really sentimental person. You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists. I do, because my brain, it forgets stuff. It forgets stuff so easily. And the more I use it, the more I benefit from it. Like today, when I'm heading out, I know I need to grab some tools. I need to buy some tools from the how do you call it? The tool shop. I forgot to call it. Tools, like, let's just call it that. I need to grab some tools from the tool shop. And the moment I step out, and I know I need to go there, I forgot what I'm supposed to get. I forgot whatever I'm supposed to buy, what I need, what I might need, what I'm trying to look for. And the fact that I can grab my phone and look up and see, right, I need to buy these things. It's like, yay! Finally! It sounds so weird, but I used to not use organizing tools because it's too much of a hassle for me. But because how much I forget stuff and how much I forget to keep time, I forget to do things as quick as possible, using schedules and using lists helps me move on. You know, it helps me move from this state, you know, like I finished my maybe homework, right? I finished my homework, I feel tired, and then I'll just stuck there. I'll just stuck in that feeling and just glide. You know, I just glide through the rest of the day without doing anything. But if I have a schedule, it'll be like, yay, I did this thing, and I'll do another thing because I have to do it. And if I don't, it'll hang on my mind. It'll stay on my mind that I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. And so, at the very least, I'll remember to do it. Compared to, I didn't think I need to do anything, so I just stay there. And the next day I realized, oh fuck, I needed to finish this thing for another project, but I fucking don't remember I need to do it. You know? The late nights increased the more I use schedules, but the promises that I am able to make to people increases as well. So I feel like I'm an advocate for it. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Not really. Oh wait, sorry, I'm answering this way too quick. Cause, okay, usually I think when I see a question like this, I'll think long and hard and maybe this. What if that? What if this means this? What if that mean that? Maybe the question is supposed to meant for this purpose. Am I reading it wrong? And am I interpreting it wrong? And I will always do that when I'm asked any questions. But because these questions I have done before, I also kind of remember my answer to those questions, you know? Okay, short description of my thought process. I try to build logics in my mind. I've tried to build equations and just a full route, you know? When I have a question, a feeling, a logic process I need to work out, the moment I work out, it turns from maybe a discovering process from A to B. Okay, there's C and D. Oh, and then E. And so, in that case, E and F. And finally, that means G. It turns that whole process into A, G. It just really quickly shortens the whole process. So, I still can recall my whole logic because it's not something that I thought about at the moment. It's a whole logic that I worked through, and I'm like, yeah, that checks out with my logic. Yeah, that checks out with my values. Everything checks out, and so the answer from if I'm given A, immediately G. So that's what I'm doing here. That's why I'm answering these things so quick. Okay, even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Okay, quick thing that the first thing that I think about, or like the biggest thing that I remembered, is how much I am able to move on, right? A small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. I'm a very confident person, most people will say this. I'm very confident that I am a good person, or I have the ability to do great things. So, in other words, I'm pretty confident. And part of that confidence is believing that situations happen. You know, like situations happen that doesn't work out in my favor. And sometimes that situation just keeps happening. And that doesn't mean anything, then that situation happens. It means that maybe you want to change how you do things, how you go about things based on the situation. If it keeps happening and you want to stay in the same situation, you know? If the world just only breathes oxygen, right? There's only oxygen in the entirety of the world, but you always want to breathe nitrogen. Then eventually either you move to another planet or another place where there's nitrogen, or you try to make a sustainable nitrogen breather, or you start breathing oxygen, right? That's kind of the mindset I go about these, which is like, it's separated. It's separate. What happens and me and my ability and my knowledge, they're separate. Maybe that my knowledge isn't well versed enough for me to cover the whole situation that I'm facing right now, and thus making this mistake. Maybe big, maybe small. In this case, it's small, but it doesn't mean my knowledge is fully false. It's just it doesn't cover this area. And now I can cover this new area because I've experienced this, right? To me, this whole sentence doesn't make sense, which is why I immediately go disagree. Like, a mistake happened, But it doesn't mean my current ability, overall ability and knowledge doesn't work. It just means that it doesn't apply right now. It doesn't help right now. It doesn't work right now. But the knowledge is still there, you know? Maybe today you're eating a red fruit and you're like, oh, I thought this is orange. I thought that the color of this fruit, which is apple, is orange. I made a mistake. But that doesn't mean that an orange is an orange color, right? It just means that an apple is red color and you didn't know that, and now you know. It doesn't invalidate, a mistake doesn't invalidate whatever progress or knowledge or ability you have. It just is different. It just is a new thing, a new situation, a mistake. And sometimes, even though you know it, maybe you know that apples are usually red and today it's green. And so, what, you know? Sure, they're similar. It seems like the same situation. They're both apples. But it's still a new situation. There's still many things, there's still many possibilities in the world that it's limiting to think that whatever you can comprehend or remember or have experienced in your mind should encompass everything in the world. It just is too much. So I just feel like it's separate, you know, and I feel like most people should go about this like that, to feel them as separate, so it doesn't like conflict with each other when you're going about your day. You feel comfortable just walking up to people, just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation. Oh yeah, I do. Sorry. How should I put it? But it's just like I do. I just do. I'm worried that if I go about this way too slow, it's gonna take up like 2 hours, 3 hours, but personally, there's a gauge, there's a range. If I really truly admire them and view them as just a top tier person that I am so enamored by, that I feel like they are better than me, they are another level of being, then sure, it'll be a bit intimidating. But well, I feel like the way I go about these things is that I have a purpose there. You know, like if I'm going up to, say, okay, let's say one of the biggest person in the world right now who is fine with people admiring him, Markiplier, right? Let's say Markiplier is there, and I'm absolutely a fan of him, right? Why am I going up to him? Am I going up to him to grab a piece of, you know, maybe his signing? Am I there to get a hug, to express my appreciation of how he has brought me through hardships? Or I want to give him, you know, fans advice. I want to be like the person who gives the advice, or, you know, just whatever. What purpose do I have going up to this person? And try to keep my mind on that. To keep my mind on, yes, I'm going to here to accomplish this goal. And I'm enjoying the whole process, you know. I'm enjoying the conversation, whatever interaction we're having. But because I have this purpose, I'm just here to make that purpose happen. I'm here to introduce myself to this person. Then what am I introducing myself to him for? Why am I introducing myself to him? If I'm trying to get an editor's job, then I'm here to introduce to him saying, yeah, I've done these editor-related jobs, therefore I'm here to introduce myself to get an editor job from you. Yay! You know, that's the gist. Why it doesn't really strike me as too intimidating to walk up to people I find interesting. And sometimes it's just making friends, right? Oh, I enjoy your content. I feel like it'll be fun. We can play games together sometime. I feel like there's a strong chance that we can bond together pretty well. And if it don't, I feel like it's fine. You know, that type of stuff. Just have a purpose in mind and keep your mind focused on that goal. And, you know, put the nerves on whether or not you can accomplish that goal instead of just enamored by a person that you find interesting and the awkwardness of, oh my god, I'm talking to a person. Maybe they'll not like me, you know? Have your goal set up. I feel that's much easier. That helps me feel comfortable striking a conversation with a person I don't know. You're not too interested in discussing various interpretations and analysis of creative works. Absolutely not. Did you not just hear me say so many various interpretations of possibilities and situations? Did you not hear me? Did you not hear me, Test? Oh shit, I'm only 1/5 way through. You are inclined to follow your head than your heart. I think I just said it. I think I just said. Okay, a bit more context to this. I don't know how to follow my heart anymore. The way I think about stuff. Hello, Potter. Nice to meet ya. The way I think about stuff. If you hear how I went about how I work through my logic, my process of thinking, it's more A so B, because A so B, because B so C, and kind of an ongoing process of doing that, on and on and on. It's how I think stuff. Because of something, therefore something. And maybe something, and so something. And the more this process, this logic fills my head, the less I'm able to hear what my quote-unquote heart say. Because I'm also able to explain what my heart say. You know, logic, if you dig it deep enough into logic, it doesn't exist. Okay? Nothing exists. It's a concept, it's just a way to think stuff. It's not quote-unquote real. So even logic, it's the want of finding a logic through stuff, right? So if you dig deep enough into the whole logic thing, you'll find that it's a want. You want realness, you want structure, you want something, you want it to make sense. Therefore, you do things that are logical. And it kind of like doesn't work with the feeling of, well, I don't know why I want to do that, I just want to. You know, it kind of clashes. They both exist in my mind. You know, like I want to play Danganronpa because I like it. Why? Well, the art style is really cool and it's a really classic game, and like I love the murderous aspect of it. You know, those are the reasons. But also, why? Why are those the reasons, right? How does those reasons make sense? And if you're like anything, really, even the more like sinister ones, like, oh, I want to take this job offer. Why? Because even though it is an evil job, it makes me money, it gives me health benefits, it gives me power over other people. Why are those the reason you take the job? You know, like, why are those the valid reasons? Because you still want something, and so you think that whatever you feel, whatever want you feel is valid. You have to, or else you'll find that nothing makes sense, because actually nothing makes sense. Nothing exists. And so it's more so just how you logic through things. Whether you're okay with just, yeah, I want that, I like it, so I do it. Or, yeah, I like how it's like this, and because it helps me, and because this works and this makes sense, and therefore I like it, and so I do it. Like, there are both ways to do things. One is more easy to explain to others and more easy to make sense. Easy to make it seem like you understand what's going on. Because you do, in one way. But, I mean, it sometimes gets clouded by the public's interpretation of logic, which is the more justice, the more makes sense, the good, the evil, logic because of how clear it is how you think things, it's easier to be muddled by the public senses of stuff. But I do follow my head more than my heart because it's just easier to follow my head. I want to follow my heart though. I want to. I truly want to. I wish I can. It's just so hard to. You usually prefer just doing what you feel like at any given point instead of planning a particular daily routine. You know, exactly the reason why I feel like I wish I can follow my heart, because when you follow your heart, it's more so you don't give a reason to why. You know, like you're able to, yeah, I want to do this, so I do it. And for a person who follows their head most of the time, they have to logic through it. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I know it feels good, but why? You know, you have to work through that logic in order to allow yourself to do and feel what is good or what you want. And so, even though I follow my head when I'm trying to logic through things, I usually just do what I feel like at any given moment. Even though I do plan a particular daily routine, I don't follow it. It's counter, it's weird. It's counteractive, but I planned the whole day, but in the end, I usually just do what I feel like at any given moment. It's a bad habit of mine, but I do. So, let's go with... yeah. Because I do both things. I do both things. Okay, yeah, I usually do a bit more planning than... No, I... See, this is a hard question that I don't know how to answer. Let's skip it. You really worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. Do I worry about I make a good impression on people I meet? Do I? Well, I do actually. I do feel like this is a question that when I was younger, I will probably say I disagree. Reason being, compared to other people, I don't. Most of the people, they feel awkward when they make friends or meet new people. And they feel like whatever their interaction at that time would decide how they're seen. And they have an illogical fear of awkwardness. And I don't really. However, the reason I don't is because I'm so confident in how I express myself, and how if they don't have a good impression of me, that's their problem. Which is I'm so confident in myself that I don't give a shit whether or not I make a good impression, because I'm so confident that I will make a good impression. It sounds like that, right? It's half true. I still want to make as good of an impression on people I meet. I just don't worry only. I do the effort. I do the effort of cleaning myself up. I do the effort of prepping myself mentally and thinking of what conversation we can have and trying to grasp as much related information of the social event I'm going to, and trying to be in control of how I present myself. And so I do the prep work so that I don't have to worry about it afterwards. So still, I feel like it's a slight disagree. Slight agree. I still kind of rarely worry about it compared to most people. I enjoy participating in group activities. Absolutely, I enjoy participating in them. I'm an introvert at heart. My social battery runs out really quickly. But, you know, just like how, some insects can't help but jump into fire. I jump into group activities. And even though I know that my battery runs dry very quickly, very easily, I don't plan things out perfectly. I just try my best to have enough energy to live. You like books and movies that make you come up with your own interpretation of the ending. I don't really. I love to know what the author thinks, how it ends. There's way too many interpretations that I can have of an ending, and I mean, and if you say that, well, your favorite one is the ending, I don't feel that as satisfactory. I feel like that's just one way, you know? I would love for it to happen to end with the one that I wish happened the most, but there's so many ways things can happen. There's so many things can happen. And I think the purpose of me reading a book or a movie is to see the interpretation of the author or of the production team behind it. It's not so that I can, I think stuff. I can think of that type of stuff in my head. I can already do that. I don't have to read a whole book in order to do that. And so yeah, I rarely love an open ending more than a closed ending. Your happiness comes more from helping other people accomplish things than your accomplishment. Absolutely not. Okay, not really. I do enjoy helping other people accomplish things because it means I am able to accomplish things. I accompany them accomplish their things. But I do want to accomplish, you know, I want to be able to accomplish my own accomplishment before. Because helping other people accomplish things, how much do you help them, really? Like, how much? And I just feel like it's harder to grasp the accomplishment that I've got, that I've done, if whether or not a thing is accomplished has to be decided by another person. It doesn't stop me from helping other people accomplish things. It just, compared to that, more so if I'm able to accomplish things, I just feel more satisfied, more fulfillment, more happiness. As long as there's friends that can enjoy the whole process with me, that's same both ways. You're interested in so many things that you find it difficult to choose what to try next. Yes. So many things. This is just a true statement. I don't know what to say. This is just a true statement. You're prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worst. Absolutely, that's just how you think about stuff. Why SOP exists is because you need to plan for the worst. Even though you don't think that it's going to happen, you just have to consider it. Because it's better to consider it than to not. Of course not. A lot of times it's better to not consider about things in their worst state. It's better to accomplish greater things if you don't think, well, what if I fail? But at the same time, you have to. Those people who are able to climb that high, they just have other people worry about those things. And they themselves just focus on how to get the projects to a higher place. But still, it's still necessary. Even though you hear people say, no, you know, I try not to think about how it fails. I just think about how bigger it can get. Like, I bet you 100% somebody in Mr. Beast's whole operation thinks about what if one day Mr. Beast fails in one way. Like maybe what if Mr. Beast have some scandal, how to save face, how to save subscribers, how to save things. There are people in his company or in his team that are responsible to thinking about what if things take a turn for the worse. Maybe he himself doesn't, but it is necessary. You avoid leadership. Like, if you don't, the worriness will just lie there. The worrying doesn't go away because you don't think about these things. Because most people are smart enough to think that, what if this doesn't keep happening? What if my luck runs out? Most people have the mind capacity to think this. So how to combat that is to just take action, to do precautions, right? You avoid leadership roles in group settings. No, I don't. I am comfortable speaking to a group of people. I'm comfortable being on top. I'm comfortable having the microphone because I'm the type of person that I can speak a lot. I can keep on speaking. I have a lot of thoughts that if I find it necessary, I can give out to other people. But at the same time, I always try my very best to make sure that every single person in the group meeting feel like they can say something, feel like they can speak up, even if they are not sure whether or not their contribution is the best. I am confident that I am the person. I am the type of person that, okay, the little boy at the corner mumbles something, but feels like he shouldn't raise their hand up because maybe it's not good enough. I will try my best to have the group listen to the person even though they're not confident, and do my best to make it to not make it awkward for them, you know? In more blunt words is that, but basically to make every person's contribution as valid as I can make it. As long as it makes sense, of course. But I do try to make it so that everybody has the comfort to speak up. So in that sense, I have the confidence in having a leadership, in being in a leadership position. You are definitely not an artistic type of person. I used to say yes, I think. Like, I used to think that I'm more of a just logic only, I think. But no, actually. The more I draw my thumbnail, the more I think, well, I do have some artistic sense in me. So, you know, surprise, surprise. I am kind of artistic. Artistic. You'd think the world would be a better place if people relied more on rationality and less on their feelings. I feel like it's better. Okay. I know a lot of people stumble on this. A better place, right? Thing is, like I said, rationality doesn't mean evilness. Rationality doesn't exist. It's a way to logic through things. Feelings, thinking that, okay, relying on their feelings is like also a way to rationalize your way through things, to logic your way through things, you know? Let's say if every single person relies on their feelings, some people rely on the good feelings, the helpful feelings, some people rely on the evil feelings, the more hurtful ones. They don't think it as evil per se because they're just angry at the moment, just feeling some things at the moment. So there's still consequences that are less than good if people rely on their feelings. And every person rely more on their rationality. It doesn't mean they lose their heart. It just means that when they're thinking stuff and doing stuff, they rely more on their rationality. And what that means is people can see things more rationally, right? Okay, should I help this person or should I not? Maybe if I rely on my feelings, I will feel the fear that maybe this person doesn't want to be helped. Maybe this person is an evil person that wants to scam me, and so I shouldn't help. Or there's a possibility, okay, so thinking through this, if this person actually wants to scam me, then what can I do to make sure that even if I help them, I don't get scammed and I can comfortably help them? And I will feel better if I help this person. Therefore, I should help this person. You know, anything can work either way. And personally, personally, I feel like everything can work more smoothly and people are easier to control. Control as in to convince to do something. If most people rely more on their rationality. So I think, yeah. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. I would like to prefer that. I would like to be a productive person, but I don't. I don't. I'm a lazy person. Shit, I don't do that. I'm a bad little bitch. Okay, you enjoy watching people argue. Well, thing is, well. Thing is, I feel like freedom of speech, right? I feel like freedom of speech. What does that mean? I enjoy watching people argue in the sense that I can see how people think. I like to see how people react to things and how people logic their way through things. I like to learn from people and to see how people fails and try not to fail in the same place myself. And watching people argue, you can kind of see how they think stuff, feel stuff, and logic through stuff. What some people see as more... what some people see... How should I put it? Okay, there are some things that people would tend to deem as more important, more core, more something that you should abide by, and sometimes that's helpful to know. That maybe, you know, so that you can fit into the society more, you know, things like that. So yeah, I enjoy watching people argue. Of course, I don't like it when people argue based on their just guts, you know, that's just, I don't like it, therefore anyone like it is dumb. I don't think that's an enjoyable argument. But if you were just saying argue, I do enjoy people argue when it's civil. Yeah. You tend to avoid drawing attention to yourself. No. What do you mean avoid drawing attention to yourself? Look at what I'm doing right now. Look at what I am doing right now. You know, I'm so shy. You know, I do sometimes avoid attention by not actually doing what I'm supposed to do, like marketing myself in the ways that I know would be much more beneficial to me, but I just am not prepared for that amount of eyes on me, and so in that sense, I'll go down one. But as a person that streams themselves doing a personality test online, I don't think I have the right to say I disagree with that. I don't think I have the right to say that I avoid attention. Your mood can change very quickly. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, like the mood's still there, but like this is more so referring to the general mood, right? Like this afternoon I was crying, right now I'm laughing. I mean, kind of like that, just, you know. You lose patience with people who are not as efficient as you. I used to be really impatient. I used to. But now that I've learned about the world more, I realize that some people are slower, some people are quicker, and even people who are slower, they might have some strong suit that I just don't see it yet, you know? Some people may be slow, but they get things done very, very well. Well, you know, do you wait for them then? Right? Efficiency. Okay, maybe I am very efficient. If I am efficient, it doesn't mean I do things best, right? What's the point of doing, you know, it's kind of the point of like outsourcing. It's not because they can do things more efficiently than you. it's because they can do things better than you. So maybe if I can make a full live 2D model by myself within a month, efficiency, some will call it, but rushed, also some might call it. And to have a person who has learned and crafted their skills and kind of like formed a very intricate set of skills just to do something very good. And they might have spent like years on it, months on it, even weeks on it. It's still some time, right? They've spent a period of time to perfect their skills. Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe it's not efficient. Maybe they learned it pretty slow. But the point is, they do it well, right? So it's not fair for me to be like, because they're not as efficient as me, you don't deserve my patience. It conflicts with the idea and the reason to outsourcing anything and teamwork, right? So I've learned to say no. I don't really lose much patience with people that are slower or inefficienter than me. I used to, though. I admit I used to. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. Absolutely. Do you see how slow I go about these questions? I do things very slowly, okay? This is not something I can explain. It's just how I do things. I just don't feel rushed. I am not a person that works well when I'm rushed, so I just try not to feel rushed, I guess. That's the only explanation that I can think of right now. You have always been fascinated by the question of what, if anything, happens after death. I do. I don't have any good theories right now. Like I do, but I don't have any that I feel like fits here right now. Like they'll all be too long, too complicated, too convoluted, and they're all just theories. So let's move on for now. Just know that I am very fascinated. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Maybe one day we'll delve deeper into that. You usually prefer to be around others rather than on your own. So not really, actually. Do I prefer to be around others rather than my own? I prefer asking a person who throughout the entire semester mostly eaten every single meal on their own, whether they prefer to be around others rather than my own. I mean, when I am around other people, it's an event, so of course it's more fun most of the time. But no, not really. Doing things on my own is faster. You know, I can be patient. I can try to be patient whenever I feel necessary, but to be patient most of the time is hard for me. And to ask other people to be patient with me is also just not a comfortable feeling. So now I do prefer to be on my own. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Nah, no way. No. Oh, theoretical is the funnest thing because it's however you shape it, it is what it is because it doesn't exist. It's all theoretical. And so you can just shape it and discuss it however you want. It's a free playground of mind. There's no consequences that can't be theorized in another way. Okay, you find it easy to emphasize with a person whose experiences are very different from yours. Easy wouldn't be the word I use. Easy wouldn't be the word I use, but I do try my very best to learn how to empathize with people that I do think grew up differently with me. It's kind of a skill that I've been perfecting my entire life and still perfecting. So I wouldn't say it's easy, right? It's not easy for me to learn how to empathize with people who are very different from me, but I do empathize. I do try my best to do them. And it's getting easier by day, right? Slowly, extremely slowly. The process, it takes forever because you need to get experience in order to empathize with people. But it gets easier every day. You usually postpone finalizing decisions for as long as possible. Yes, I do. This is a bad habit of mine. Same reason I'm terrible at keeping up with my own schedule. I just postpone things. I just postpone things as long as possible because then I'll finally feel like I have to do it, and I'll just do it as quickly as possible because I have no other choice. So I do. This is a terrible thing to do. Do not copy me, but I do. You rarely second guess the choices that you made. No way. No way. Every choice that I have made, I second guess, a third guess, fourth guess, fifth guess. Ask anyone. I always have second guess of any decision that I made. And I always need some people to for me to confide in. Even little things like, where should I put my little Jaenix character on my thumbnail? Is it option 1 or 2 or 3 or 4? And even if I've chosen one, or they've all chosen the same one, I'm like, well, but 1 does this and 3 does that, and I'm so exhausted by my own thoughts. After a long and exhausting week, a lively social event, my event, is just what you need. Am I a yours truly social event? My heart jumped out and say, yes, I love going to social events. It's just so fun. But logically, I know I don't. I know I get back my energy by being just resting and alone. But also I do enjoy a lovely social event. I truly do. If it's long and exhausting, chances are I feel less confident in myself after it. And going to social events, I don't know, it just boosts my confidence level always, and I just feel better. Maybe I am extroverted, in this specific scenario. Maybe I am. You enjoy going to art museums. I don't. Actually, I don't really. I need to have a purpose of going there. Having somebody that wants to go to that place with, having somebody who wants to go there. Maybe there's a person that I want to see, ? Maybe there's maybe it's currently on trend. Maybe I can, now that I am a content creator, maybe I can make some content out of it. Then yeah. So I don't hate it, but it's an extra expense that as a person who hasn't made much buck yet, I don't feel like the enjoyment outbid the expense department. So maybe. You often have a hard time understanding other people's feelings. Well, I mean, same thing, same deal. I spend a lot of time trying to understand other people. I spend a lot of time to find ways to learn about how to emphasize with other people, what people want to hear, what people do, the common sense of human society. So 1 + 1 used to be hard, kind of deal. How should I answer this? This is asking my personality. This is not asking how I am able to, but I do have a hard time understanding other people's feelings in general. I often feel like I often had the thought in my head of why, that doesn't make sense. Why do they feel? Is that real? Why do they do that? What? And obviously, to them, the reason is obvious. It's their feeling. They just feel like that. And I can logic it. I can see it. I can understand it. But it's still it's not easy. You like to have a to-do list for each day. I do. Same reason I had before. You rarely feel insecure. Do I? Do I rarely feel insecure? How often do people feel insecure? For me to call on myself rarely, though. Do people feel insecure 24/7? I mean, I feel insecure every now and then, right? Like, it's not often. So I don't rarely feel insecure. But I don't often though. I don't often feel insecure. Do I feel insecure? Yeah. Do I often feel insecure? You know, it's not. It's a event, you know. It's like period thing. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And little disagree. You avoid making phone calls. I avoid making phone calls. Nah. Like I said, if you go into it having a strong purpose and know what you're going to do, know what you're trying to convey, what you need them to understand. Hi, I am customer 1107 and I'm here to make a phone call because my phone has broken down because of these reasons and I can't find other ways to help it, and so I'm resorted into confiding in you, my online assistant, into fixing this. Can you help me? You know, like having a clear purpose and kind of like having a script in your mind of what you're going to say. The things just get easier. You're just following a script, you know. You often spend a lot of time trying to understand views that are very different from my own. You mean like how some people can get 10 million views and how I can get one view? I mean, that's hard to understand. I do try my best to understand the view differences. but do I often spend a lot of time trying to understand views? Yes, I do. I genuinely try to. I feel like it's always beneficial, right? It's always beneficial to learn different views. It's just helpful. It's just helpful to know. And even if you don't get it, even if you don't understand it in the end, it's helpful to acknowledge the differences. Acknowledge that these views somehow make sense to a person. And to put that into consideration when needed. It's useful. In your social circle, you're often the one who contacts your friends and initiates activities. I don't. I sometimes do. Actually, nowadays, I do. But no, I don't. But also I do. If a person asks me out to hang out, like, I always say yes. Always say yes. As much as possible, at least. And when I'm out, I'll be like, hey, let's plan our next... Do you want to go to do this together next time? But if I don't see them in person, I just don't remember to do this. I just don't remember to initiate activities. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. Wait, sorry. My top priority though, not my type. Am I my top? Nah, not my type priority. I just, like I said, I just leave it be. And I want to get back on track, but it's not my top priority. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made long ago. Oh fuck, yes I do. Especially those that I don't know why, you know? You have to learn from your mistakes, and if you don't get what you have done that caused the mistakes, or how you could have avoided the mistakes, it's just, And especially the ones that you know exactly why you did what you do, but it's still so dumb. The reason that you've done it, so it doesn't make me doubt my abilities, sure, but it doesn't bother me. It does still bother me. I still feel so bad. Even the tiny ones, like maybe I call somebody a really like not really fun name and they don't mind it, and other people don't mind it, but I mind it. I'm so sorry I called you a little bit that one time. So sorry. You rarely contemplate the reasons for human existence or the meaning of life. Nah, I contemplate those. I just have kind of have my own logic to it right now. I have my own reasons of how things are or how I'm going to be living for now. The meaning of life, I feel like that's something that you need the whole life, at least one lifespan, or maybe multiple lifespan in order to come to a conclusion, come to a answer. But living only mere 20 years, I don't think I have the necessary data to come to a correct or close to correct answer of this. And so it's more so, what's the meaning to live life right now? And it's like, well, what do other people or other creatures live? Why do they live? They live because they need to procreate. They need to keep on living because they need to procreate and keep on living. That's kind of the whole point, to keep on living. And well, to us, it doesn't really seem that, you know, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal to keep on living. A lot of people are thinking, why do they keep on living, right? Like me. And like, so why do you want to keep on living? And it's like, because it feels good, right? To the core, the reason to keep on living is because more likely you are able to feel good, happiness, or happiness related feelings that are considered as like good feeling. You're able to feel those when you are alive. More likely you are only able to feel those when you are alive, and therefore you keep on living. That's how I go about things, at least for now. I feel like it makes sense for me, you know? It's like, why do I keep on living? Well, because I live to be happy. I live because I live to experience things. I live to feel stuff, to experience interestingness, to find things that are interesting, to experience things that are interesting, to be interesting. Yeah. Your emotions control you more than you control them. I don't think it'll be right if I say yes. It's hard to explain. And I'm running out of time. But basically, do my emotions control you more than I control them? Well, not really. Like, of course my emotions are strong, you know, every person are affected by their emotions, you know, every human that are able to experience emotions, one way or another, are affected by them. And even if it doesn't feel like they're controlling, it determines things, it affects things, it influences your decision, one way or another, like subconscious or not. So I would want to say every person should say yes, because unlikely, unless you have some sort of condition, unlikely your answer is no. But the purpose of this question, I think, is how you go about things, right? Do I control my emotions better than I control my thoughts? No, that's not right. That's not the right way to put it. Like, do my emotions tell me what to do, or am I able to say, calm down, emotion, right now I need to do this thing? The latter one makes more sense to me right now. You take great care not to make people look bad, even when it's completely their fault. Great care? No. Some care? Yeah. It's just easier for me, and easier for everything, to smooth the landing. Unless it helps people, unless the fault of theirs is really major, that I don't think there's any benefit that can come from helping them keep on not looking too bad. Then I do take some care. I do take some care to not make people look too bad. Just so the projects, the events can keep on happening without too big of a problem. Yeah. Oh, it's only 80%. Okay, we gotta hurry. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. Hmm. Oh yes. Actually, why am I thinking? I'm just worrying about I'm just worrying about time. I'm thinking about time solidly. Yes, I do. I can sprint stuff and get things done. That's why I had so many late nights, because when I just so happens to have a spontaneous burst of energy at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, it's just I have to use it up, you know. I have to just hold on to the chance that I can get something done. Even it's midnight. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed in you. This is a bit personal. This is a bit personal. This is some personal issue. I feel like this is worth delving deeper into it, but I think later, sometime in the future, later, you would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. I don't. I want to be with people. They help me feel better about myself. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It helps. It helps people understand things and helps people have a stronger structure of. It's like, if you don't believe in religion, how do you work through things? How do you use up the belief energy in you? Either you delve it all into work, you know, like maybe work, or like physics or science, or like how the world works. You believe in something, right? And one of them is to understand why you believe in things, to understand the power, and to use it. If you, the more you can understand the tool, the better you can use it. And even if you don't use it, like for instance, you don't use your quote-unquote believe energy on religion, you can still use it on maybe believing in yourself, right? Believing in that things will work out for some whatever reason. Believing that everything is meant to be, and therefore I can live comfortably because things will happen what needs to happen, even though you don't believe that God makes this happen. You know, like I'm just picking one of philosophical questions, right? That's just one philosophical things that people think about. And I'm like, that's already helpful to help people understand how they go about their day and how other people go about their day, why people are different. It's just, I like that. I like philosophical questions, so it's not a waste of time. It's not. I don't think so, at least. I don't think so. You feel more drawn to places with busy, bustling energy atmospheres than quiet, intimate places. Not really. I get drawn. My energy was drawn. Sorry. My energy gets drawn dry very quickly if I am a busy, bustling atmosphere area without headphones on, without earplugs in. So I do feel more drawn to it just because it's like where things at. But also I love quiet, intimate places. I love it. I love a quiet, intimate cafe. I love I love libraries. I love being alone in my room. I love it. Intimate, quiet. but also bustling. The energy is there. It makes you feel more energy. You know at first glance how someone is feeling. You know, I just said that I have a hard time understanding how people feel, but also, I have to say this. I have to say I don't really. I want to say I can kind of feel how people's feeling. Like, I have some idea because I've learned to kind of figure things out without them saying it. That's why I enjoy face-to-face communications, because I can kind of get what they're feeling. But also, I'm not really that good at it. I'm not really actually good at it. You often feel overwhelmed. Not really, do I? Am I? Well, recently I have some moments when I feel overwhelmed, you know, like overwhelmed by, oh my god, there's so many things I want to do, but I don't do them quick enough. Like, it's so hard to even just keep streaming, and there's still so much I need to do, and like the time is running out. Like, I do feel overwhelmed sometimes now, but I still don't feel them often. You complete things methodically without skipping over any steps. No, really. I don't think so. Like, the way I learn things, I try to learn what is necessary, you know, like learning how to use OBS, I learn what's necessary. And if I faced any, you know, difficulties, or I feel like I want to look whether or not there is a specific function that I want to use, whether or not it exists, then I'll try to learn whether or not it exists. But before that, I do enjoy skipping over steps and learning things and just completing things by skipping steps. Just by figuring things out on the go. I enjoy the feeling of learning it myself, or like figuring it out. And even if I don't, the feeling of searching it up and, oh, that's how you do it, and finally getting it done, it's also very rewarding. So I like skipping things. I really do. Sometimes though. You are very intrigued by things labeled as controversial. Yeah. You would pass along a good opportunity if you thought someone else needed it more. Nah. Sorry. You know, it's interpretations, right? You think you need it, you think you need it more, you think you need it less. It's like, you get it, you got it. And try to handle it with the best care you have, but you get it, you got it, right? And I think in this case, I think the better case would be to cherish it and to spread it, to make the good opportunity something that not only lasts, but also multiplies. If you want to give it to somebody else, I feel like that's the right way to go about it. You struggle with deadlines? Absolutely. I am so fucking literally. You feel confident that things will work out for you. You know? Like, the good old famous Ludwig Ogren once said, either things work out, either things will work out, or they don't and I die. And both are fine. My gender, I'll go with allure. Fucky, yes, fucky, yes. I knew it. I am not fake. I am true and true to myself and everybody on my planet. Yes, I am a debater and I am once again labeled as one. Even my on-screen personality doesn't change how I go about my things. I am so true. Click, click, clock, clock. Okay, but still, I'm running late to my next activity, so I'm going to leave my stream right here and I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you all for joining in, the people who has left, who has come, who has went through, who exists, who didn't exist, and the people that aren't people. Thank you all for joining in today's Jaenix Lively podcast. I don't know, this is not podcast, lively show, streaming, live stream. Thank you all for joining in today's live stream. I'm sorry I was so late. I don't think anyone's waiting for me that long. other than you, Reggie. But thank you all for waiting for me. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for, I don't know what to say right now. I'm so worried. I'm so late towards my next thing. So I'm gonna leave it at here. Thank you all for joining. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your day. Have a great rest or the rest of your day. Good night. Goodbye. Bye. 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 I'll delve deeper into the debater personality next time. Goodbye. I'm with you. Goodbye in my head. Goodbye.